I'm Meredith with Fortitude Immigration Consulting. Today I just thought I would talk a little bit about express entry. There are many videos out there, and IRCC has a very vast website of knowledge, but I just wanted to give some minor pointers. If you are going to sign up for an express entry profile, you need to understand that the information that you're putting in that profile must be correct and accurate at the time of creating the profile. So if you have not completed your ECA, Education Credentials Assessment, but you are now putting in information in that profile, that would be incorrect. You need to make sure that you have all of the requirements before creating the profile in case you get offered an invitation to apply or an ITA, because the information that you've provided in your profile is what's granting you that invitation to apply and must be accurate and truthful. So you should make sure that you have all of your language requirements, all of your education credentials assessment, and your verification of employment from previous and current skilled work experience that you're claiming points for, because you need to be able to provide all of that supporting documents should you obtain an invitation to apply. And you need to understand the programs that you might potentially be offered an invitation to apply for under express entry. So, under the federal government, there is the Federal Skilled Worker Program, which is based on your skilled work experience. And there's the Canadian Experience Class. So if you've worked in Canada for 1 full year as a skilled worker, then you potentially could be pulled and invited for that program. Then there's also the Federally Skilled Trade Program. There's also a potential, if you're in the express entry pool, to be invited for one of the provincial nomination programs. Each province designs their own programs related to their needs and occupational demands of that province. And this also gives you an opportunity to have another advantage, because if you should be offered an invitation to apply through the province for nomination, that will give you an extra 600 points for express entry profile, which gives you a very good chance of being pulled from the next draw. Now, you also have to factor in many points. There is your spouse as well that you need to consider. Are they gaining you additional points in your CRS score, or are they hurting you within your score points? If your spouse might not have great language abilities or haven't done higher education, many factors, then you might want to consider having your spouse become non-accompanying. So when you're creating your express entry profile, you put there that you are married or single. So you would then obviously click that you're married, and then it asks you, is your spouse accompanying you to Canada? You would then click non-accompanying. This doesn't mean your spouse is never going to come with you. It just means that the spouse will not be part of your permanent residency application at the visa issuing stage, which there means you would obtain permanent residency. And then after that happens and you are in Canada, you can therefore sponsor your spouse through the spousal sponsorship application process. This process is an additional step, but if your goal is to obtain permanent residency, then you want to obtain the best score level you can in order for you to be drawn from the pool. Now, also, there is arranged employment to consider. People have a misconception of what arranged employment means. So, if you are in Canada working on a postgraduate work permit and your employer is willing to support you in any of your permanent residency application processes, that does not mean you have arranged employment. If you're on a postgraduate work permit, which is considered an open work permit, or any form of open work permit, your employer must obtain an LMIA, a labor market impact assessment, in order for you to be considered arranged employment in the points. Now, if you are here on a work permit under an existing LMIA, then yes, you do have arranged employment. If your employer still wishes to offer you arranged employment verification of employment letter, then you would be considered arranged employment within the points. If you are here on an intra-company transfer, then you must wait 1 year working for that company in Canada in order for you to claim the points under arranged employment. Now, you would not need to obtain an LMIA in order to do that, but you would need to have a verification of employment letter with the support of your employer after the 1 year term has been completed. So there are many factors you need to consider when you're applying under the Express Entry profile, and you need to make sure that you do not mislead or misrepresent yourself in any way because you could be considered inadmissible to Canada and banned for 5 years. So the information you provide must be accurate and correct. And that's why obtaining verification of employment letters from your previous employers to make sure that you know you can back that work experience that you've put in your profile is very important. If you have any further questions or want to have any discussions, please feel free to contact me at Fortitude Immigration Consulting on our website or on our Facebook page. There is also an email address and phone numbers, and I'm always open to conversations. Thanks very much and have a great day, and I hope you tune in again.